Despite the order that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave Wike, the FCT governor, that this shut down properties should be reopened, for use by its owner, and then the president also gave another 14 days, ultimatum for this property owner to do the needful thing. Wike did not go to, follow the orders from the president immediately, but when they were ready to do so, when the officials, got to the FIRS headquarters, they were faced by the FIRS security and, it turned violence. We're going to talk about the details in a bit, but before we do that, guys, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? What are you doing on YouTube if you're not subscribed to Newsroom Nigeria? Please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button, most importantly. Also click on the notification bell so that you'll be the first person to get notified each time we upload a new video. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comment section. I respond to all of my comments. Without further ado, let's delve right into the details of today's news. Members of the Ministerial Joint Task Force were attacked and assaulted on Tuesday in Abuja by staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service headquarters during an operation to unseal the premises. The FIRS office had been sealed on Monday, May 26, 2025, by the Federal Capital Territory Administration through the MJTF over alleged non-payment of ground rent. The enforcement action was part of a broader crackdown on property owners defaulting on statutory obligations. Following a presidential directive to cease the enforcement and grant a 14-day grace period to allow defaulters to settle their payments, the task force returned on Tuesday to unseal several properties, including the FIRS office. Led by officials from the Development Control Department and accompanied by armed police officers, civil defense personnel, and other enforcement agents, the MJTF team arrived at the FIRS premises and notified security personnel of their intention to remove its official seals. However, they discovered that most of the seals had already been removed by the FIRS office, by the FIRS staff, with only one remaining. It was during this process that the alleged assault on the task force members occurred. Tensions escalated when security personnel and staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service reportedly locked the gates of the headquarters, trapping members of the Ministerial Joint Task Force inside and preventing their exit. According to eyewitnesses, FIRS staff and security personnel then violently attacked the task force team, including police officers and civil defense operatives, leaving several officials with varying degrees of injuries. One of the victims was reportedly an aide to the director of the Department of Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima. Some civil defense and police officers were said to have had their uniforms torn, while others were physically assaulted and had their mobile phones forcibly seized. Witnesses also claimed that the FIRS chairman was present during the commotion but failed to intervene or restrain the agitated staff. The situation was eventually brought under control after several hours, following the intervention of Director Mukhtar Galadima and a rescue team who rushed to the scene to de-escalate the violence. Galadima, who rushed to the scene upon receiving reports of the assault, condemned the attack in strong terms, describing it as completely unacceptable. He was seen making phone calls to relevant authorities to report the incident. One of the victims described the conduct of the FIRS staff and security personnel as ridiculous, absurd, unacceptable, and reprehensible. It was further gathered that Galadima, visibly angered by the incident, formally reported the matter to higher authorities, while the assaulted officials lodged a complaint at the Intelligence Response Team Police Station in Guzape for further investigation and appropriate action. The FIRS staff and security attacked us today. They beat us and injured many of the Ministerial Joint Task Force members. We started the unsealing of the properties that were sealed on Monday over non-payment of ground rent. One of the victims said, "We started from zone 6 and we moved down to zone 5, but we were attacked immediately when we entered the office. The security and staff of FIRS locked us up inside their building and started beating us." The source said, Some of the civil defense officers had their clothes torn to shreds, and they almost stripped one of the officers naked. We were asked to seal up those owing ground rents, which we began yesterday, and we were instructed by the director to go and unseal the 9 to 10 buildings that were sealed on Monday. They blocked the exits and entrance access, and they said we would not be allowed to leave. The angry staff and security personnel pounced on anyone there. They even seized some phones, especially from the ladies. They couldn't take phone calls from the men as they struggled, but all to no avail. Let's have your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. I think that this is so very unnecessary. Like, it's just not necessary, because these people are working on the orders of Wike. They are working on the orders of the president. These people are actually representing the minister of the FCT. So I don't know why anyone in their right senses would want to attack them. These people are not just they are not just doing their own job. They did not just wake up one morning and decide to go and seal off the headquarters of FIRS. It's not possible. So they should know that these people are just doing their job. They are just doing their job. They are carrying out orders. So why will you, if you are not a mad person, why will you now go and attack innocent people, innocent individuals? You are seizing their phone. For what? For what? You seize their phone. You are attacking them, tearing their clothes. Like, for what? Sometimes, some Nigerians, I don't even understand how some Nigerians behave, because this is just so absurd. Any normal, right-thinking individual would know that, these people probably have no option. Their boss cannot say, go and do this, and they will say, no, we are not going. No. They have to go and carry it out. When they see Wike ahead, they can fight Wike. Wike is the right person that they should go to fight, not the messenger. You don't shoot the messenger. Anyway, guys, before we go, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Ibikunle Olani says, I wonder how the FIRS were able to disarm and beat ministerial joint tax security apparatus comprising of police and civil defense officers by beating and tearing their uniforms. Do FIRS staffs carry guns too? I'm also surprised why they are owing rent. Those people must have overpowered them, with their numbers. They are the ones at home. The Joint Task Force team, they just came to meet them. They might just be few of them who, went on this mission. And on the other hand, the FIRS team people, that's their office. So they would be automatically outnumbered. You get what I'm saying? A comment from Clark says, there is no law that says ground rent defaulters' properties must be seized. You giving penalty for late payment, Wike with his barbaric ways as always. Now, that's the debate. Let's talk about this. Do you think that anybody that is defaulting or anybody that is refusing to pay ground rent, that the automatic punishment should be that the property should be seized? Or do you think that it's a matter of, them charging the person to court, and then maybe there's a particular fine or there's a particular jail term that the person can go to? But knowing fully well the kind of judicial system we have in this country, probably Wike knows that is going to take forever, which is why he chose to seize their property. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that the seizing of their property is like the right punishment that should have been melted out to them? Let me have your thoughts on that, guys. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.